Welcome to week 2 of the Chakra Yoga Series that I'm presenting for you over the next couple of months. 8 weeks in total. Today, because it's week 2, we're dealing with chakra number 2. In Sanskrit, Svadhisthana. Translated, that means one's own place. Now, we refer to the Svadhisthana as the Sacral Chakra because it is located right at the small of your back, where the sacrum is. And the element associated with Svadhisthana is water. So think for a moment about the properties of water. Through heat and cold, it can exist in all states: gas, liquid, solid. It flows. When it's poured into a vessel, it becomes the shape of the vessel. So that is the property of Svadhisthana, flow. It deals in polarities, masculine versus feminine, expansion and contraction, sensations, physical sensations, emotions, feelings, and thoughts. Polarities. So today's practice is about polarities and kind of finding your center between the two extremes. Water is the middle, the center of gas, steam, and solid, ice. You have the fluid, liquid, water right in the middle. So that's our goal today. Focusing on opening up through the hips and bringing movement to all the joints, of course, to release stagnant energy. Now, how do you know if your Svadhisthana needs some work, if you need to focus on the energy right at the core of the pelvis? Well, if you have excessive energy in Svadhisthana, you may feel indulgent, impulsive, thinking, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. If you've been on a shopping spree lately and you've done more than just put things in your cart or on your wish list, you've actually clicked the buy now button, your Svadhisthana might need a little bit of attention. You might have excessive energy there. If you're feeling rigid, stiff, or maybe even a little bit numb in terms of not connected to your feelings. Every day feels the same. Well, that's true for all of us at the moment. But those are signals that you're insufficient with your Svadhisthana energy, your sacral chakra energy. Now, balanced in Svadhisthana, you feel contented. You are satisfied. Your movements feel fluid. Your thoughts feel fluid and logical. So let's see how we feel after a Svadhisthana practice today. Sitting tall, you can go ahead and close your eyes. Rest your hands on your thighs, backs of your hands preferably. So rolling the shoulders open so your hands can rest on your thighs and the palms can be open. Just relax the fingers. Let your hands feel heavy. Connect to your breath. Take a few breaths here to acknowledge the physical sensations that you feel in your body. Hear them and listen. Now doing the same thing with your emotions and thoughts. Acknowledge them, hear them, and listen. As you inhale, sweep your arms up. Bring your hands together overhead. And as you exhale, let your hands float down, palm pressing to palm. Relaxing the shoulders, letting the shoulders fall away from the ears. Let's do that one more time. A breath in, sweeping the arms up. Hands coming together overhead. And exhaling, hands floating down, pausing with hands right in front of heart. Now setting an intention for today's practice, I want you to think about the dynamics it takes to come into a pose, and then the stillness that follows as you feel static in the pose, but at the same time still working on it. The polarity of the yoga practice. To the onlooker, it looks static. From within, it is very energetic. Movement. The very least movement of the breath in the body. Weaving body and mind together. Now release your hands. Take another breath in, sweeping the arms up. If your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. Now hinge forward just enough that your fingertips come to the floor. So if you've got your legs straight out in front of you, just bring your feet wide so you can rest your hands in the center. Up on your fingertips so you've got lots of length in the arms, lots of room to reach for the floor. Take a breath. Reach the crown of the head up to the corner in front of you where the wall meets the ceiling. And as you exhale, just ease forward. Just until you feel a gentle stretch into the lower back, right about the sacral area, and into the hips here. Keep the shoulders broad and the heart open. And press up. Now if you're cross-legged, place the other leg in front. If you're got your legs straight out in front of you, for now, keep your feet wide so we can repeat on the other side. For you, a second kick at the can. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, hinging forward. Fingertips coming to the floor. Lots of length in the arms, using the full length of the hands, arms, fingers. Crown of the head reaching up for the corner in front of you. And as you exhale, just soften at the elbows, hinge forward. Just until you feel the beginnings of a stretch, nothing more than that. Working on the back of the hips and the front of the hips. The 360 loosening up of the hips today. And press up. Now take a moment here just to wiggle your fingers. Open and close the palms just gently. Yep, warming up all the joints today and rotating through the wrists. Now go the other way. All right, let's come into table pose. But bring your knees wide. So knees wide, big toes together to touch. Now pause here. Soften the back of the heart. Draw your shoulder blades in towards your spine. That's how you soften your heart. Now take a breath. And as you exhale, just push back. Hips push back towards heels. Come down onto your elbows and sink in. Inhale, bring yourself up. Pause just for a second, and then exhale and press back. Coming down onto the forearms and elbows. Again, at the end of the exhalation, pause for just 1 second, and then inhale, rise up. Bring yourself back to the wide leg table pose. Exhale, press back. Just feel the flow of the movement with the flow of your breath, and the stillness with the inhalation pause and the exhalation pause. Exhaling, sinking down one more time. Pausing. Inhale, rising up to your wide leg table pose. Now Now walk your knees in, so knees under the hips, curl your toes under. Again, working with the breath. Inhale, a little half a second to a second pause, and as you exhale, push back, just until you feel the stretch into the soles of the feet and the deep bend in the balls of the big toes. Pause for 1 second, maybe half a second. Follow your body's lead, always. Then inhale, bring yourself back to table. Softness in the back of the heart. Exhale, pressing back. Inhale, coming up. Let's do one more. Don't forget the pause. Don't be in a hurry. Take your time. Move consciously. Feel all the sensations. Acknowledge all the thoughts and feelings that arise. Keep the toes curled under. This time for the exhalation, rise to downward dog. Lifting the knees away from the mat, reaching through the heels, feeling the hips reaching up for the corner behind you where the wall meets the ceiling. Palms of the hands firmly grounded. Parts of the feet, the soles of the feet that are connected to the earth, just let them feel heavy and supported. It's okay if your heels don't connect to the mat. That could take years of practice. Some days they may connect and some days they don't. It's just the way it is. We need to accept everything. Now lift your heels, bend your knees, and just slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Get a good footing as each foot steps closer towards the hands. Coming into a forward fold. So knees bent, fingertips touching the mat. Make sure to support under the hands. Take a breath. Reach the crown of the head forward. Use the full length of your arms, a little softness in the back of the knees. Hold it here. Breathe. And even though you're static within the pose, feel the work happening at the back of the legs. Feel the expansion and contraction of the breath. Now bend your knees. Take all the intensity out of the back of the legs. Shift your hands one at a time onto the tops of your knees. Come into a supported chair pose, coming halfway up here. Lift your eyes, look forward. Drop your hips just slightly to bring your eyes to the wall in front of you rather than down at the floor. Soles of the feet press down into the mat. Feel the support that the earth gives you. It pushes back. When you push down, it pushes back. And as you inhale, lift up. Lift with the breath. Hands coming together. Let the hands flow down, palm pressing to palm, resting right in front of the heart center. As you exhale, pause right here. Relax the shoulders. And release the hands. Step your right foot back. Step slightly towards the right side of the mat. Push down onto your right heel. Hands on your hips, but right at the hip joint, not on top of the hips. Lengthen through the left leg. So you want both legs to feel long and strong here. Both, the soles of both feet, solid on the mat. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, hinge forward. Bring your eyes to the corner in front of you, where the wall meets the floor. Level at the hips, feel the hips shift under your hands, hinging at the hip rather than rounding through the vertebrae. Now drop your eyes to the top of the mat and think of reaching the crown of your head forward to the wall in front of you. Keep the elbows out from side to side to keep the shoulders broad, shoulder blades pulling in towards the spine, heart open, always. Now reconnect to your breath. Feel the work in the lower body, the dynamics of the muscles contracting, holding on, shifting as your body adjusts. and finds balance in the pose. Feel the softness in the upper body as your breath flows. Now keep this. Keep the hinge forward and just slowly bend your left knee. You can even adjust your gaze so that you can see your left knee stack over top of your left ankle. Keep the right heel pressing down. Right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, pardon me. Take a breath. And as you exhale, just turn to look to the left. Feel the right shoulder drop down. The left shoulder pulls back slightly. Now, left hand reaches for the back of your hip. Plant the heel of your hand on the back of your hip so your fingers are pointing down towards the mat. Take another breath. And as you exhale, use your right hand on your thigh to just deepen the twist ever so slightly. But be aware of your breath. You want to maintain the depth and fullness of your breath. Not twisting so far that the breath disappears. Ooh, feel that deep opening in the back of the left hip. Yowza! Take a breath in, and as you exhale, release the twist. Bringing both hands back to your hips. Now press up. Keep the left knee bent, left knee soft. Come up onto the ball of your right big toe. So lifting your heel. Now dropping right knee down. Yes, sinking into the right knee just until you feel the stretch from your knee up the front of your right hip. Now shoulders stacked over top of your hips here. Looking straight ahead. So we got a little bit of heat building in the lower body here. A little bit of that yang energy, the masculine energy, creating some heat in the body. Contrasting that with the coolness of the yin energy we started with down on the floor. Now you can stay here, or for your next two breaths, release the hands, sweep the arms up. Bring your gaze upwards now, bringing a little bit of curve from your tailbone and extending up through the crown of your head. So you can bring your eyes up as high as you choose, going no farther, of course, than the ceiling and looking between your hands. We're feeling a really long line in the front of the body. Breathe. Now pull your breath all the way into your belly. And as you exhale, tuck your chin, release your arms. Ears stacked over top of shoulders, bring your hands to your hips. And step right foot forward. Slide your hips down to the joint in your hips rather than the top of your hips. Left foot steps back. Step all the way back onto your left foot, slightly towards the left side of your mat. Hips and shoulders square to the top of your mat. Soles of both feet firmly grounded by the earth below. Legs long. Shoulders in line with the hips. Elbows straight out to the sides. Shoulder blades pulling in towards your spine. You can feel the lift through the crown of the head, but at the same time, how anchored you feel to the mat through the soles of the feet and the weight of your legs and hips. Take a breath. And as you exhale, hinge forward. Hinging at the hip, bring your eyes to the corner in front of you where the wall meets the floor. Feel your hips shifting under your hands as you keep your hips square, shoulders square. So try not to open out to the left. Elbows reaching out, shoulder blades pulling in towards the spine because your heart is always open. Breathe. Stay grounded through the left heel. Temptation here is to let the right leg do all the work. Equal out the work. Balance the energy in both legs, both sides of the body. Drop your gaze to the top edge of your mat. Feel the crown of the head reaching forward. Breathe. Transitioning into a twist now. Soften the right knee. Stack your right knee over top of your right ankle. Anchor left heel. Left hand comes to the top of your right thigh. Take a breath. And as you exhale, just turn to look to the right. Feel the left shoulder drop, right shoulder pull back. You feel a little bit of a twist happening through the rib cage. Now adjust the placement of your right hand. Bring the heel of your right hand to the back of your hips so your fingers are pointing down towards the floor. Take another breath. And as you exhale, use your left hand on your thigh to just deepen the twist ever so slightly so you can gaze directly at the wall to the right of you. Breathe. Keep the left heel anchored. Left leg strong. Feel the movement within the pose. And find your breath. Remember, to the onlooker, you look like you're standing still. But from within, there's all kinds of things going on. Physical sensations, thoughts, feelings. With your exhalation, release the twist. Bring your left hand to your hip. Lift up. Keep the right knee soft. Right knee stacked over top of your ankle. Shoulders over top of hips now. Now pull up the heel on your left foot. Left heel pulls up. Rests on the ball of your big toe. Now sink down. Drop the left knee down. Not all the way to the floor, but just sinking down just enough to feel the stretch from your kneecap up the front of your left hip. Pausing here, feeling the feels, as they say. Now you can stay here for the next few breaths, or release your hands and open up the spine. Bring some curve to the spine, bringing your gaze upwards. You choose how high, no higher than your hands. Feeling the long line in the front of the body now. Breath in. And as you exhale, chin drops towards your chest. Release your arms. Hands come to your hips. And step forward. Release your hands. Oh, feels good just to be standing in mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, bend your knees, bow forward, fingertips to the mat. Inhale, let the eyes look forward, and as you exhale, bow. Fold over your thighs. A little bit of a bend in the back of the knees, of course. You're in control of the intensity, the stretch that you feel in the back of the legs. Now bend your knees, plant your hands, and just walk your feet back to downward dog. Now take a little moment here, a few breaths, just to flow and play in your downward dog. You can hinge forward and back, coming into a high plank. You can pump your heels. There's really no limit. You're only limited by your imagination, the ways you think you can play. And then you give it a try, right? It takes a certain amount of courage just to try something new. You can sway your hips, really feeling the stretch into the sides of the body. Just flowing and playing, even doing some circles. Oh, I've never done this one before. Wow, there's some real dynamics to how the body shifts and changes, how the strength
changes as your weight shifts. And go the other way, of course. Can't not go the other way. Well, this is fun. Take one more breath to play, however you choose that to be. And then settle into your downward dog. Notice how that little bit of freedom, that little bit of movement has really given you the opportunity to feel your downward dog. Find the one that's just right for you for today. Contentment, satisfaction, downright pleasure in downward dog, dare I say it. Lift your heels, bend your knees, and then just take your time. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, come halfway up. As you exhale, bend your knees, bring your hands to your hips. And then inhale, lift the rest of the way up. Release your hands. Step your feet wide. Turn your toes out 45 degrees. So you're kind of pigeon-toed. Shoulders over top of the hips. Now just bend your knees and push them out. So take a look down. You want to be able to see your big toes, and your knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. It's not a big bend in the knees. We're just doing a modified goddess pose here. All right, now bringing your hands out to the sides, cactus arms. You want your elbows in line with your shoulders. Now bring your hands into Atman Mudra. So that's bringing, let me come towards the camera, your thumb and index finger together and spreading the remaining fingers, palms up. You see that? Good. So knees pointing in the same direction as toes. Arms out to the sides, cactus arms, bringing thumb and forefingers together. Now spreading your fingers, palms turning up, so bending at the wrist. Now pull the belly button in, really engage through the sacral chakra, looking straight ahead. Requires a little bit of curve in the lower back, but support from the front of the body to hold this pose. Strengthen the shoulders. Now the significance of Atman Mudra. Remember, we're working with polarities today. Atman Mudra represents the individual and your place in the universe, one's own place. The thumb and forefinger coming together is the individual. The fingers reaching out with the palm turned upwards is the universe and the connection to it. Take one more breath. Now open up, lengthen the legs as you push into the heels, reach the arms out corner to corner above, coming into star pose. But don't lose the strength through the belly. Maintain the embrace through the lower abdomen. Breathe. And release the arms and walk your feet in. All right, here we are. Hands on your hips. We're going to step the left foot back. Land on the ball of your left big toe. Now right leg is long. Hinge your weight forward so most of your weight is in your right leg. Now bring your gaze to the corner in front of you where the wall meets the ceiling. Roll back the shoulders, soften through the heart. Even bringing your eyes a little higher up on the wall, but find something to hold your gaze, because yes, we're getting ready to do a balance. Keeping the hips square, You can feel your hips under your hands. Now belly button draws in. Engage the lower abdominals. Spread your toes on your left foot. Bend your left knee to float your left foot off the mat. Keep your toes spread wide, left leg strong. Push down with the right leg from your hip all the way down to the sole of your foot. Now push left foot back. Now if you feel comfortable here, you can go ahead and reach for your left ankle to bring yourself into a dancer pose. You can stay here with your left hand on your hip and left foot reaching back. So let's get Atman Mudra into the game here. Right hand reaches forward, thumb and forefinger come together, remaining 3 fingers spread wide. So I want you to think about, how can a pose be called dancer? Dancers and dancing is so active. And from the onlooker, you may seem still, but from within, there's all kinds of action going on. Stay soft through the heart. Now slowly release, bringing your right hand to your hip and left foot to the mat. Release the hands. Inhale, sweep up. And as you exhale, just sweep around and down. Bring some more movement to the shoulders. Now sweep out and up with the breath in. And as you exhale, let your wrists cross. Just notice which wrist is in front. Inhale, sweeping up. And as you exhale, sweep around and down. Inhale, sweeping out and up, gathering up the universe and our place in it. Cross the other wrist in front. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Roll the shoulders back, turn the palms forward. Just enough energy in the hands, the palms are open, and the fingers are spread like rays of sunshine. Breathe here in mountain pose. Just feel sensations, emotions, thoughts. And notice how feelings applies to all of that. How do sensations feel? How do your emotions feel? How do your thoughts feel? That's what weaves the physical and the spiritual together. Now release your mountain pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Right foot steps back. Land on the ball of your right big toe. Just wherever it lands is fine. Now shift your weight forward and lengthen through the left leg. Come on to the very tip of your right toe. You can feel your weight has shifted forward. Now square out through the hips and bring your eyes to the corner in front of you where the wall meets the floor. Spread your toes on your right foot. And when you feel ready and steady, push down with the left leg, left foot, and bend your right knee. Spread your toes on your right foot, push your right heel back. Feel the right glute kind of just kick into action there, how it has responded. Now you can stay here, or you can reach back for your right foot with your right hand, or you can keep your right hand on your hip. To come into a full dancer pose, right hand reaches back. Now bring in, with the left hand, the Atman Mudra. Thumb and forefinger come together, fingers spread, palm turned up. Hold on to the focal point that steadies you as you come into your version of dancer pose. Feeling the body respond, feeling the breath flow. And slowly Left hand comes to your hip. Whoa. And right foot comes to the floor. I almost lost it there. Release. Inhale, sweeping up. And as you exhale, sweep out. Inhale, sweeping out and up. Let your wrists cross. Notice which wrist is in front. And as you exhale, let the hands float down. Inhale, sweeping up. Sweeping out with the exhalation. Inhale, sweeping out and up. Crossing the wrists the other way as you release and exhale. Standing in mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back so shoulder blades are pulling in towards the spine. Heart is open. Palms, hands are open. Just in high receive mode. Feeling yourself begin to connect to the satisfied feeling of contentment. Connecting to your breath. Really getting a sense that you're comfortable in your own body. As comfortable as you can be. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, bow forward. Bring your fingertips to the mat and take a forward fold. Really stretch and lengthen through the back of the legs, the lower back. Feeling the long stretch in the back of the body here. The long stretch in the back of the body compared, contrasted with the compression in the front of the body. Bend your knees, plant your hands, and just slowly walk back to downward dog. Take your time. Feel each sole connect to the mat with each step. And then feel your weight shifting equally. Just notice the physical sensation of the work in the body and contrast that with the freedom within the pose itself, within downward dog. The rest that's happening. Lift your heels, bring your knees all the way down to the mat, walk your knees wide, and take a wide child's pose. Just come all the way down. Bringing the knees wide will help you sink deeper and minimize the compression on the belly so the breath can really flow here. You can stack hand on top of hand and let your forehead rest on your hands. You can go ahead and reach for a block or a blanket, or bring your forehead all the way to the mat. That's up to you. Find your perfect child's pose. And really rest with feeling good. Because you've got to find those moments in every day where you feel good. Those are the moments your sacral chakra, Svadhisthana, is in balance. In space balance. Not imbalance, one word. Two separate words. Now press up. Swing your legs round to the top of the mat. Big toes right at the top of the mat, and roll yourself all the way back. Oh my God. Make a little adjustment here. All right, so arms out to the sides in line with your shoulders. Walk your feet as wide as the mat and get a sense that your ankles are under your knees. So you want your knees to be wide as well. Now spread your toes. So your toes will pull away from the mat. A little bit of flow here. Yes, connecting once again to flow. Remember that little 1 second pause in between the inhale and the exhale? We're going to do that again. So take a breath. And as you exhale, let your knees go to the right, just however far they want to go. Just roll onto the edges of your feet. Inside edge of your left foot, outside edge of your right foot. Roll your head to the left. Let your chin tuck towards your shoulder. Pause. Then inhale, bring your knees back to center, head back to center, square on the soles of your feet. Pause for a second. Exhale, knees go to the left. Roll onto the edges of your feet. Head rolls to the right, right chin tucks in towards your shoulder. Inhaling, bringing everything back to center. You hold for 1 second. And then exhale. Knees to the right, head to the left. Chin to your left shoulder. Pause. Inhale back to center. Pause for 1 second, that's all. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right, chin to the right shoulder. Let's do that 2 more times, moving with your own breath. Remember to pause in between the inhalation and the exhalation, and then pausing again between the exhalation and the inhalation. No rush, slow, deliberate, purposeful movement. Taking that little 1 second moment to feel, to sense. Last time. Keep the toes spread wide. Keep the ankles strong. Now pausing here. You'll notice how your lower back, your sacrum, has begun to pull away from the mat. So still working with the breath here. When you exhale, draw the belly button in towards the spine and think about pressing the sacrum, the lower back, into the mat, reconnecting it to the earth. Try not to squeeze the buttocks, but use the strength of the abdomen only. And as you inhale, release the belly completely. Feel the lower back and the sacrum pull away from the mat. And exhale, squeezing in. Reconnecting lower back to the earth. And inhaling, releasing completely, feeling the back release from the mat, the support of the mat, and then exhaling, pulling in, reconnecting. Let's do 1 more full cycle of breath. Inhaling, releasing. Exhaling, pulling down. And then inhale, completely release. Relax the soles of the feet. If you haven't already, relax the toes. Deeper twist this time. Take a breath. And as you exhale, toes spread wide. Roll onto the edge of your right foot, inside edge of your left foot. And roll your head to the left. Take a full breath right here. Your next breath in, bring knees and head back to center. As you exhale, relax the belly, relax the feet. Just let go with the exhalation. Stay soft for the inhalation. Feel your whole back just relax and sink into the floor. Spread your toes. Toes pull away from the mat, ready to twist the other way now. A breath in. And as you exhale, roll onto the outside edge of your left foot, inside edge of your right foot, and let your head roll to the right. Chin tucks in towards your right shoulder. 2 complete full breaths here. Sink into the stretch. Really feel the long stretch from your right knee to your armpit. Sink into the left side of your body. Inhale, bring your knees to your head back to center. And as you exhale, just let go of everything. Soles of the feet relax, toes relax, shoulders relax, rib cage spreads on the floor. Reach for your knees. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Bring your knees wide. So your knees are kind of in line with your armpits, and you can feel your inner thighs beginning to connect with your rib cage. Now shift your grip to the back of your thighs. So open up the back of the knees. Now spread your toes. And if you look at your feet, it looks like your feet are standing on the ceiling. Now lengthen through the spine. Relax the shoulders. You can feel the shoulders squarely supported by the earth below. Now roll onto the backs of the hips. So you might see your feet move just slightly, but resist the urge to tilt the pelvis in such a way that the lower back pulls away from the mat. Keep the sacrum supported by the earth. Feel grounded through the sacrum. Feel the pressure a little bit of the sacrum pushing into the earth. Now bring your elbows to the insides of your knees and reach up for whatever you can grab. Your ankles, the edges of your feet, or you can bring your peace fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and hook your big toes. Now use the full length of your arms. Take a breath, and as you exhale, pull your shoulder blades down towards the mat. Increase your surface area supported by the floor, coming into happy baby pose. So you don't need to be holding onto your toes or your feet. You can hold your ankles wherever you happen to be. Just keep the shoulders, the back of the body, from your shoulders to your hips, firmly supported by the earth below. Feel the lift of the front of the body, the lightness there as you inhale. And as you exhale, just feel yourself get heavy and sink in. Right? You feel the rising up with the breath in and the sinking down with the breath out. And release your grip wherever you happen to be holding on. And hold the fronts of your knees. Now just gently massage all around the sacrum. Just some gentle pressure on your knees. You do some circles. And you can just feel all the muscle fibers that attach to the sacrum getting this wonderful pressure release from the movement in the front of the body. Be sure to go in both directions. Now stretch out. Hands to your sides and just take a breath in, sweep the arms up. And just pause for a second and have a little bit of a stretch. And then exhaling, bringing your hands back beside your hips. Let's do that one more time. breath in, reaching up and over, and then having a little bit of a stretch. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then bringing yourself all the way back. Make whatever adjustments you need to so you're comfortable for your next few breaths in final relaxation. Purposefully, as you exhale, just feel your body get heavy. Feel your muscles release away from the bones and just soften into the earth. With each breath, sink a little more deeply. Be physically aware of the parts of your body supported by the earth below. Feel the physical sensations in your body as you feel heavier and release more into the support beneath you. Feel the subtle movement of your breath in your whole body. Become aware of the thoughts that travel through. Just watch them come and go as if you were sitting on a beach, watching waves roll into the shore and then pull back into the ocean. Allow your mind to drift in and out, just like those waves on the beach. I invite you to stay here in final relaxation for as long as you choose. If you're ready to come out, you can rise up with me, starting with small movements in the fingers and toes, and bigger movements into the hands and feet. Expanding the movement into arms, legs, till finally the whole body has begun to reawaken and reconnect. Bend your knees one at a time, placing your feet on the floor. Gently roll onto your right side. Pause for a breath. And slowly press up. Sitting tall, bringing hands into the water mudra, thumb and baby finger tips touching, backs of the hands resting on your thighs.
Just taking a moment to feel the weight at the back of the hands. Feel the weight of your arms dripping from your shoulders, just melting away any stress or tension in the shoulders and the back of the neck. Now inhale, just sweeping the arms up, letting hands come together overhead. Exhale, hands floating down, palm pressing to palm. Now spread your fingers wide and turn your hands so that the heel of your hands are connected to your heart and your fingers are spread out. Just changing from our Anjali Mudra just to send some energy out into the world right now. Using our metta meditation to connect. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be loved. And may all beings be at peace. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.